What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Home of Comics. I'm Brayden, back again with another X-Men 97 review, Season 2, Episode 4. I believe it's called Rise of Apocalypse Part 2. I'm going to keep it brief. This was a very emotional episode. Spoilers ahead, of course. Um, this episode does not reach the peaks of what I consider to be my favorite episode of Marvel television ever, which is um, Remember It, which was season 1, episode 5, the death of Gambit, and the fall of Genosha. However, this episode tries to emulate it in a way that is far more personal. Um, we see at the end of the episode of last episode, and Sabanur was clearly becoming evil. He was clearly not going on the path that Xavier and Magneto wanted for him. He spends part of this episode trying to listen to the X-Men, trying to understand why they've come to the past, to try to stop him. He doesn't know that yet, but he's starting to reckon with them again. He's starting to realize, okay, maybe they're not so bad. Maybe I messed up. And you think for a second, maybe they actually will succeed. It's episode 4, so like part of me knew that they weren't going to, but part of me really wanted them to. And then the episode takes a turn for the worse when they enter the Celestial Temple, which, you know, did kind of figure it was just going to be a Celestial Temple. It seemed to be just what it was leading towards. Uh, Apocalypse gets celestial like powers after the X-Men attempt to stop him because he sees the future and he's like, You're trying to stop me. I'm not going to let that happen." And Magneto makes the sacrifice play. He takes all the X-Men back to the future, I should say. All but Charles. He tries to bring Charles in. Charles ends up getting past his grip and staying with Magneto anyway, which I've always sort of, I wouldn't say I ship Magneto and Charles. I think that they have a relationship that is far beyond the romantic. I think they have a relationship that is very clearly some of the absolute most love you could possibly have for an individual, which I think has made every season of this show so far so tragic. Particularly like the original series, because I do think that Magneto and Xavier have so much love for each other, um, beyond essentially literally anybody on Earth or the cosmos beyond. Magneto, I don't know what he was thinking personally. Like I know he could not stop Apocalypse at the height of his power. It's a really rough thing to watch, to witness, because you know he's going to die, and yet there's really nothing you as a viewer can do about it. There's nothing Charles can do about it. It's like destiny, which is sort of the play of this entire season. I think is just going to be like how much of this is predetermined. They kind of go in and they're like, I think we made Apocalypse. I think we were here to make Apocalypse, not to stop him. Because they brought him to the temple, to try to stop Kang. Kang, of course, wants the celestial powers to stop Apocalypse first off, but then also be Kang the Conqueror. And he just dips out of the time stream once once Apocalypse gets formed. He's like, "All right, this is not the time that I should be going to," and just leaves, which I think is very funny. And I don't think this is really tying too much into the MCU narrative of Kang. I thought about it for a bit, and I'm like, I don't really think that that's where that's going, which is fine. This is fairly standalone anyway. But I did find it interesting. They played Loki's theme. They tried to introduce Kang in a concept. I don't know. I personally thought they were going to do something, maybe wrapping up the Council of Kangs here, so we don't have to worry about it in Doomsday. But I don't think they're going with that path, which I guess makes sense for an animated show that not everyone's going to watch. All in all, this episode once again does not focus on the other X-Men. You're focusing on Magneto, you're focusing on Charles, and you're focusing on Apocalypse. You're not getting much else. You're not focusing on a good half of the team that are currently in the past or in the future, sorry. However, I still think this episode is really, really, really good. It's just shy of the 10 mark. I think I need something just a little bit more, um maybe gut wrenching is the right word. Maybe literally I want to be more depressed, but I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I think that this episode is excellent. I don't know what I've rated the other ones. I kind of forgot. I think I gave them eights and sevens. So yeah, like this is the best episode of the season so far. There is a post credit scene at the end that essentially teases Weapon X. Logan is back in like the 90s. I think this is actually right after an episode of the animated show back in the 90s actually. Because Captain America was in the scene, Black Widow was in the scene, and Cap basically hands Logan a file titled Weapon X and is like, I don't know what you're planning. Um, Something about it being dangerous. Honestly, I don't remember the post credit scene fully, but it was something like that, and it's teasing up Weapon X, which we know is in one of the titles of the next episodes. So I understand why that post credit scene exists. It's surely to accelerate the main plot, but it's kind of a weird. It was kind of a weird thing because it just brought you completely out of that episode, completely into another time period, and you kind of have to remember. Oh yes, that's what Logan was doing at this point in the timeline. It's not even like right after what when we last saw Logan. It's like way back in the past. But it was cool to see Cap and Black Widow, I guess, in like '90s era designs. Yeah, 9 out of 10. Great episode. I don't think this is gonna be better than season one so far. At least it hasn't been, but I don't think it needs to be. Season one is my favorite thing that the MCU has ever made. Um, I don't expect season two to be there. I expect season two to be close, and right now it is absolutely close. 9 out of 10. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to comment down below your thoughts on the episode, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next X Men '97 review. Peace.